Let's talk about an industry worth almost $200 billion. That's bigger than the entire movie and music industries combined. It's called network marketing, or multi-level marketing. And wow, is it one of the most debated business models on the entire planet. So yeah, let's dive into this. Because whether you think it's a golden ticket to financial freedom or a system that's just stacked against you, you can't ignore something this massive.
You know, the vision for it is incredibly powerful, especially when you hear it from people like Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki. He's always talking about this 90-10 rule, the idea that 10% of the people make 90% of the money. And here's the real hook. He argues that network marketing is one of the only ways an average person can actually break into that top 10%. You have to admit, that's a pretty tempting promise.
But, and this is the big but, here's the central conflict. On one side, you've got this incredible dream, financial freedom, being your own boss, the whole thing. And on the other side, a really stark warning from the US Federal Trade Commission. They flat out say that in reality, most people who join even legitimate MLMs, they make little to no money at all. So what is the real story here?
Okay, so in this explainer, we're going to break it all down. We'll kick things off with that billion-dollar promise and the entrepreneurial mindset it appeals to. Then, we're going to look at how the model actually works. We'll tackle that critical, fuzzy line between a legit business and a pyramid scheme, check out the high-tech playbook people are using today, and then, finally, we'll arm you with the key questions you should be considering.
So first up, let's talk about the appeal. Why do millions and millions of people sign up for these things? It really goes way beyond just selling some lotion or a protein shake. It's about a total shift in how you think. The way Kiyosaki frames it, this whole opportunity is like a real-world business school, but for a tiny fraction of the cost. He argues that because there's very little upfront cash needed and the overhead is low, you're basically forced to develop these super crucial sales and communication skills. But even more important, it's about learning to escape that paycheck mentality and really start thinking like a business owner. The pitch is that this isn't just some side hustle. It's a training ground for people who absolutely have to win.
And that brings us right back to that 90-10 rule again. The thinking is, look, when any system, a small group is going to get most of the rewards. The argument for network marketing is that it gives you a structured path. You get mentorship, you get training for anyone who's willing to do the work to break out of that 90% and climb into that elite 10%. That's a powerful message of empowerment. Okay, so that's the big idea, the philosophy. But how does the machine actually run? Let's peel back the layers and get into the nuts and bolts of the business model itself.
So officially, what is it? Well, according to the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, multi-level marketing is a business where you're selling products or services directly to people, person to person, away from a normal store. Think of it like direct sales, but with an extra twist.
And that extra twist is what creates two main ways you can earn money. The first one is super straightforward. You sell products to customers, you make a profit. Simple. The second way is where that multi-level thing kicks in. You recruit new distributors into your downline, that's the team you build, and then you earn commissions based on the products they sell and often the products they buy for themselves.
And this right here, this dual income structure, is where the biggest controversy lives. When does a legitimate MLM business cross that line and become an illegal pyramid scheme? This is, without a doubt, the most critical thing to understand.
The FTC actually gives us some really clear red flags. And the number one question you have to ask is, where does the money really come from? If the main way you get paid is by recruiting other people, not by selling a product to actual customers who want it, that is a massive, massive warning sign. Think about it. If you make, say, $5 for selling a product, but you make $50 for recruiting someone who has to buy a big starter kit, well, the business isn't the product anymore. The business is recruiting, and that is when you're in the danger zone.
So you hear that warning from the FTC that most people make little to no money. And there's this risk of pyramid schemes out there. So you have to wonder, right? How are the people who do find success actually doing it? Especially in today's world.
Well, the answer is pretty simple. The game has totally, completely changed. That old model of, awkward home parties and bugging your relatives at family get-togethers, that's being replaced by something way more sophisticated, fully automated digital pipelines.
And you can really see the evolution right here. Back in the 80s, it was all about Tupperware parties and making that warm market list of everyone you've ever met. Then the 2010s came along, and it was all about building your brand on social media, being an influencer. But today, it's a whole different ballgame. The top earners are acting less like salespeople and more like tech entrepreneurs. They're building these incredible automated systems that generate a constant flow of new people to talk to.
And this, right here, perfectly sums up that massive shift.
The cringy old-school advice to make a list of all your friends and family is exactly what scared so many people away. The new school mantra, as one coach puts it, is that the money is made in the messenger. It's all about taking those public comments you get on social media and sliding into private, one-on-one conversations.
And what's driving all of this is a whole new philosophy. It's not network marketing anymore. It's relationship marketing. The goal isn't to make a quick sale. The goal is to use digital tools to systematically turn total strangers you meet online into friends, and then nurture those relationships until they basically feel like family. The sale, or the invitation to join the business, that only happens after you've built all that trust. So what does one of these systems actually look like? Well, it all starts with creating helpful content. Blogs, videos, stuff people actually want. Then you offer something for free, like an ebook or a guide, in exchange for their email. That kicks off a whole series of automated emails designed to build trust and rapport. And get this, these systems can even use AI to figure out who's most interested, so the person knows exactly who is ready for a real conversation.
And it gets incredibly sophisticated. Check this out. A system can automatically track who is opening your emails, how much of your video they watched, or if they keep coming back to your website. Based on all that, it gives them a score. If someone's score gets high enough, it can automatically tell the distributor, hey, this person is a hot lead, it's time to reach out personally. This makes sure they're only spending their valuable time on people who are already warmed up. And the result of all this? It's staggering. According to industry reports, the distributors who really learn and use these automated systems are seeing a 300 to 500% increase in their monthly leads compared to people still doing it the old-fashioned way. I mean, that's not just a small improvement. They're playing a completely different game. All right, so we've looked at the big, powerful promise. We've seen how the model works. We've talked about the serious risks. And we've explored the super high-tech playbook they're using now. So let's bring it all back to you. If you were ever to consider an opportunity like this, what should you really be asking?
The FTC actually has this awesome checklist, and it's all about getting real with yourself. First off, do you even want to be a salesperson? Do you actually enjoy it? And beyond your friends and family, do you have a solid, real plan to find customers? Are the income goals they're talking about realistic or just hype? Can you truly afford to risk the money and the time you're about to put in? And this is crucial. Have you gotten the company's refund policy in writing? And have you had a totally unbiased expert, like a lawyer or an accountant, look over the contract?
So it all comes down to this, doesn't it? With this huge evolution into a high-tech, relationship-focused industry, is network marketing a legitimate business model for the future? One that offers a real path to entrepreneurship? Or, despite all the fancy funnels and new philosophies, is it still a model where, for the overwhelming majority of people, the house always wins? That, right there, is the $200 billion question.